Hey guys, Spamwaits here. Welcome to another video where I decided to backtrack a bit. Last week I was at Millbrae, and this time I'm at San Bruno. Yeah, I thought I wasn't not able to find anything in San Bruno, but apparently there is something here. And I've just learned this basically last week, or last weekend, when I was just going out and about. Apparently, where I'm at right now, which is the Tanforan Mall in San Bruno, apparently this place has history, and unfortunately, it's going to go through another phase in history because this mall is apparently going to be closing down in the next couple of years, I think, because some investor down in SoCal bought it and is planning to demolish the mall to build. I think it was like a nice block of flats. No, like build a mega campus for biotechnical stuff because technically there is biotechnical companies around this area, mainly in South San Francisco, and it's mainly Genetech, I think, if I remember correctly. So they want to start developing more campuses around there for the studies and the jobs and whatnot, which is kind of a blow for those who live within the community because apparently some people do shop here, and actually they do. It does look kind of dead when I'm recording it right now, but a lot of people do shop here, do mingle, whatever like that, and it's just going to be gone in the next couple years. So with that, I decided to go around, just kind of record, just to show what the mall is like nowadays. I remember being here before back in 2017, and which was more hustle and bustle, obviously pre-COVID and all that stuff, and people were still shopping at the mall before really shopping on Amazon. So it was just really nice to just go around the first time around. And then just as of lately, I've came to this mall a handful of times, but it does seem to go a little bit more dead compared to Saramonte in Daly City and Stonestown in San Francisco. This mall is pretty quiet. But when I decided to look about the area and really figure out what is what is this area all about, apparently there's a lot more than just being a mall. So when I looked at Tanforan's logo, I realized there's a horse. For those who doesn't know, Tanforan used to be a racetrack around that area. Oddly enough, I think apparently owned and ran, or at least the land was owned by a very prolific rancher who manages a whole bunch of ranches back in around that area. So not only San Bruno, but also South San Francisco, and I think Millbrae at one point. So around that area, because it's all flat, so really great place to graze cattle, basically. But in, I think, the early 1900s, they decided to build out this part of land with a racetrack, a horse racetrack. And it was like that for a good 60 years or so. It went through a couple changes along the way before it eventually got basically demolished in 1964 because of a crazy fire. But throughout its history, it was a racetrack. At one point during World War II, unfortunately, it was an internment camp for Japanese. I'm not going to go far. If you know that history, you know that history. But there was quite a lot of history in this place before it became a mall. And also, this racetrack also housed one famous racehorse called Seabiscuit. I did not even know that when I was just randomly researching it, but I was reading articles and then eventually the Wikipedia, and it says they did house Seabiscuit during the time, his height, basically a popular racehorse. I'm trying to think of the best words here. It's been a while since I've followed horse racing sort of thing. I blame my dad for that one. But yeah, they housed Seabiscuit, and then they had a bunch of famous races, and then eventually it went on the decline in the 50s and 60s when more race tracks started opening up in the Bay Area. So eventually it got torn down in 1964 because of a fire, and then became a nice mall that stood up for almost 50 years, surprisingly. Actually, more than 50 years now I think about it. Went through a couple changes, had a couple of major retailers there, but now most of them have started leaving, especially the big ones. I think it was Macy's that used to be there till 2019, or was it Sears? No, it was Sears. Was it Macy's or Sears? What's one of the two? But they had a lot of major shops over there, all that stuff and whatnot, and it was just a mall basically to serve the San Bruno community as well as those who are coming to the airport. Is actually the closest mall to SFO. It's just one train ride away, one stop away from it. But yeah, this mall has a lot of history, and I try to record as much as I can. It was kind of awkward, even though it was like a weekday, just right after work and all that stuff. It was a little bit quiet, but it was also a little bit awkward to record. So there you might see some additional shots from here and there. But yeah, like going around this mall, it's kind of harrowing nowadays that it is this quiet. But because of the age of technology and the rise of like online shopping, many in-stores are being closed around not only this area but practically around across the world, unless if you live in a very urban area where shops are still thriving. So it is kind of sad just to see like the concept of the mall die, at least here in North America, because of online shopping. But not gonna lie, this is actually a really good mall to walk around in compared to like Stonestown and Sermonte. It's not a bad mall. I actually really like the design, not gonna lie. The outside looks really cool. I just wish it was daytime, but it was cloudy, so sorry about that. And this place has a lot of history, and there's some articles hoping that kind of hoping that the next developer will maintain its history as a racetrack, an internment camp, now a mall, then maybe in the next 5 or 10 years, a Biotech Campus. So I thought it was just worth a shot to just like kind of talk about it here, because it will be gone. This is one of the things that I've recorded here now that will be gone in the next couple of years. So it's basically placing a piece of history, even though it's 2022. Give it about like 10-20 years time when we don't see it, and then you'll realize, hey, look, the concept of a mall sort of thing. But we're gonna see. I'm gonna keep reading articles about it to see how much people do like shopping here like that. It would have been cool to talk to people walking around to see how long they've shopped here at the Tanforan Mall or at Tanforan. But yeah, so I decided to just like kind of record this as like a one thing about San Bruno, and also for those who wants to know, it's really right on El Camino Real. It's really easy to get to, actually. It's also really close to the airport. But I just found it interesting that, a mall's going to be closing down for some biotech offices. I know that's been kind of going around in the Bay Area as of recent, surprisingly. But just hearing this one was very interesting because it's kind of close by to me. I sometimes frequent it. So just to hear it to be gone in the next couple years, you know what? Let me just take a recording, basically. But with that, I will hopefully see you guys next time. I'm hoping to be at Burlingame, but I think next week is going to be an update because I'm already back at home at my parents' place in the Central Valley. So you're going to probably get an update vlog from me. Yeah. And then we'll get to Burlingame and then going down towards El Camino Real from here on out. But with that, I hope you guys have a great day or night or wherever the heck you are. I'll see you guys next time, hopefully in Burlingame or somewhere else. But yeah, I'm very good at outros. This man waits. See ya.